What's up, my YouTube friends? I feel like it's been forever since I turned on my camera to vlog. It's been a busy month. What is it? It's April 11th. I feel like I can make a ton of excuses as for why I was not on YouTube. That would be way more interesting than the real reasons, but basically, I've just been busy. That's super anticlimactic. I've just had a lot of stuff going on, family stuff. I had Nikki Philippi stay with me last weekend, which I actually meant to film while she was here, and then I just never did, so sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna move right along and tell you that today's video is going to be a full day of eating. It may include other things, I'm never really sure. I feel like I'm riding a bike for the first time in a while. I forget how to vlog. I feel like I had this in my last video too. I must be just struggling with YouTube lately. I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. I hope you're glad that I'm here. Let's move into this video. I guess also I should say that this cracks me up every time I do it. I'm currently in a phase where I'm still trying to diet a little bit, but I've been really relaxed about it the last month. My body weight hasn't changed a ton, but my body itself has changed a lot. Whereas just a month ago I was not, my body just looks way different now, which is awesome. And it's just this just goes to show you that the scale is just not the only way to see progress. I know that because my body looks different, I know that it's changed even though the scale maybe is not reflecting that. I'm kind of at a place where I'm pretty happy with my body. There's always that goal in the distance where I'm that would be kind of nice to look like that. So I'm always kind of working towards that, but for me right now, having kind of a relaxed approach to my diet, I've had a relaxed approach to my diet for a year and a half. It's just what works for me. It's what I find actually works for a lot of people. But since I know my body so well, it's really easy for me to have a relaxed approach and still make progress. So let's hop into this video and let's show you my breakfast. Alright, so we have breakfast here. Super different than stuff I've been doing lately, so I'm pretty proud of that. I feel like every time I go to do a full day of eating, I'm always I really just want to eat the same exact stuff I had last time. That's not helpful. So I have a veggie omelet, which you guys saw. I put a bunch of yummy ingredients in. I was super inspired when Nikki was staying here this weekend. She made herself a full-blown omelet every single day with a ton of veggies, and I was that's amazing. Super easy way to get a bunch of veggies in. This has mushroom, onion, avocado, which is technically a fruit, I believe, but you know, I feel good about it. Also, Nikki, when she came to stay with me, bought clementines. Haven't had these since I was in the 7th grade, but they're so good. And yeah, so I guess the moral of this story is that Nikki Philippi makes me want to eat a lot healthier. So thanks, girl. If you guys haven't checked out her channel, she has so many amazing food videos. She is such a healthy eater, and like I said, it really inspired me to add more fruits and veggies into the mix as opposed to always going for a grain or some sort of starch when it comes to my carb sources and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna love the heck out of it, and I'll check in with you guys later. All right, so I'm back from the coffee shop, got a lot of work done. I wanted to show you guys what I have had a few of today. So I had a few of these this morning before my workout, and then I had a little handful right now. I actually have never tried these before. If you follow Nikki Philippi or if you don't. She loves these, and so I got them this weekend to like try them slash have them around my house for her. They're actually really, really good. They're these Black Forest organic sour heads. It's like a sweet and sour chewy candy, kind of like Sour Patch Kids, but organic. Oh, and these ingredients are like nice, like made out of like carrot juice, organic lemon juice, organic potato starch. Oh, that's probably better than what's in actual Sour Patch, so that's good. So anyway, I wanted to really quick, while I have a couple of minutes between client work and coaching calls. So I posted on my Instagram actually a few weeks ago now that I said that I had made the decision to let some of my muscle atrophy. And I got a lot of questions, a lot of people wanting to hear about this, and also a lot of people were feeling like, dude, I feel like that's what I really should be doing for my body and like the body that I want, but everyone says that like, oh, I should always be going for as much muscle as possible, lifting as hard as possible. So long story short, I'm gonna try and make this as short as possible, but you know, I've been on this like fitness journey for, I don't know, I feel like I started getting into shape around 2011, 2012, and it is now 2018. I always did kind of like plyometric cardio-based workouts probably until the middle of 2013. And so I've always kind of looked back at my body in like 2013, 2014, kind of in the beginning of my lifting phase, and I've always just liked that body best. Like I liked it better than my totally cardio body, because my super cardio body, I had a lot of cellulite, a lot of jiggle all over, because I'd gone from like 180 pounds down to like 130, 135 pounds, and even lower at some points. But I just had like no like tone, if you will. I know everyone hates that word, but we all know what toned means. It means you look tight and muscular. So in the first like year or so of my lifting journey, probably the first 2 years that I was lifting, I really was still kind of doing mostly plyometric stuff. I was lifting a little bit heavier. I was doing deadlifts and squats and stuff, but I was not doing hard, heavy lifts. I was doing everything in like supersets or giant sets and stuff. And so my heart rate was still up. I was not lifting super heavy. I didn't want to grow muscle. I was afraid of growing muscle. And yet I still did grow muscle just because I was lifting weights to some degree. And so, but the body that it resulted in really was like a tighter, more like defined version of where I was. So like it was an awesome body. But then in 2015, after I competed, I really like was pushed by a lot of different coaches that I had, and also felt like in the Instagram society that everybody was pushing heavy lifting. So I was like, okay, I guess like maybe I should lift a little bit heavier. And granted, I've never been someone to consistently like lift super heavy, super consistently. Like I've always had a good amount of cardio in my routine, but still, even with not doing crazy heavy lifting ever, my body has still built so much muscle. I think the last time that I got my body fat percentage and muscle amount tested was probably like a year and a half ago. But basically I had put on 12 to 15 pounds of muscle in like 3 or 4 years of like being kind of fit and active. And like, that's cool, right? Like that's cool that I put on that much muscle, but also like in the last year, I have really felt like I would look at pictures of me from 2013, 2014, and I'd be like, kind of wish I had that body with less muscle than my current body that has a lot more muscle. Which is like, oh my God, I can't think that. Like, what would social media think of me? I'm an online personal trainer and we all want muscle. Like the big mantra of social media, like fitness social media for women is like, muscle won't make you bulky. Like, let's kill this myth. Muscle does not make you bulky. Here's the thing though. For some women, muscle can make you kind of look bulky. So a lot of you are built kind of petite, or you're built without a lot of muscle. You're the kind of person who probably should put on a decent amount of muscle if you want to look fit or defined or whatever, because your body is not going to look like that without a good base of muscle. But I'm one of those people that was kind of born with muscle. So like before I ever even worked out, I had broader shoulders, I had traps. Like this part of me was, it looked exactly the same before I ever started working out. I had quads, I had a hamstring pop, I had kind of a flat and like bumpy butt, so it wasn't cute, but I had a big like solid base of muscle. And that was always my issue, is when I would, even like 5 or 6 years ago when I would lean out, I'd be like, I still feel so bulky, I feel so big and masculine and manly because I have so much muscle. And this was before I ever gained the 12 to 15 pounds of muscle that I had gained, you know, from 2013 to like 2016, 2017, whatever. I don't know, I guess sometime in the last 6 months, actually I remember I had thought in my head, like, I'm so sick of feeling so bulky. I'm so sick of my quads feeling so big to me. I'm so sick of feeling like I don't fit in my skinny jeans. I'm sick of feeling like every blazer and jacket I put on, I just feel like the Incredible Hulk, like I'm gonna bust out of it. But then if I go up a size in jackets, like it's super big on me, and like all of that can be fixed if I like tailored my clothing. But at the end of the day, it wasn't even that I didn't fit in my clothing well, it's that I literally didn't like how big I felt. I felt big. And, you know I could have looked a lot better with the amount of muscle that I had if I was willing to get really lean. You know, like when I competed, I had a ton of muscle, but I was like 17% body fat. And I have no interest in being that whatsoever. So like, I think I'm around, my scale says I'm 23% body fat, but I feel like it's off. I feel like I'm probably closer to like 24% body fat, maybe even more. I'm not a super lean girl, at least not by like fitness standards or whatever. And I'm fine with that. Like, I don't think I'd ever want to get below 22% body fat just because I know my body and I would have to work so freaking hard to get below 22% body fat. That's just like every time in my life that I've ever dropped below that, it has required a lot of extreme dieting, a lot of cardio, a lot of focus, and like that's just not a life I'm willing to live anymore. Given that that is the case, it doesn't make sense for me to keep this much muscle on, knowing that I'm never gonna look how I wanna look with it unless I get super lean. The only option really left, for me anyway, was to start losing some muscle. And I remember this conversation I had with, you guys know the YouTuber Hope Scope, right? Everybody knows Hope Scope. She's literally amazing. So I had a conversation with her because I saw she was doing a ton of like plyometric type workout stuff, and like Hope's body is banging. Like, I don't like to like draw attention to people's body and like talk about it because my opinion of someone else's body doesn't matter. But for the sake of saying that her body is like kind of what I would like for myself, Hope looks banging. And so I was like, girl, what are you doing? So we're built differently to begin with, but she also said that she felt exactly how I felt, that she was just like focusing too much on building muscle and she didn't feel like she was getting like the lean, slender physique that she wanted. And so she changed up her workout style. She wasn't lifting heavy. She was doing mostly plyometric cardio-based workouts. And like for some reason, like just talking to Hope about it, I felt like I had my permission slip to like do the same thing. And I was like, I'm literally just gonna do cardio and plyometric workouts and like body weight workouts and see if I can kind of let my muscle atrophy a little bit. That sounds crazy. I even like lowered my protein to like, you guys, a lot of times my protein's been at like 70 to 80 grams a day, which typically if I was trying to gain muscle, it should be at probably like 110 plus grams a day, something like that. But I literally was like, what's the worst that can happen? I find out that I lost more muscle than I wanted and I don't like how my body looks without muscle, so then I just build it again. Like, this is like, my body ain't going anywhere, so who cares? Like, I just decided, let's give it like 6 months. I think I started this last October, November-ish. I was like, let me just give it 6 months and see what happens with my body if I change up my workout style, change up my diet to not be so promoting of like muscle gain, but actually like maybe I lose some muscle. I know this is like so backwards. I'm sorry, I'm doing this a lot today. This is just like quoting society a lot today. But anyway, long story short, I was freaking right. I was freaking right about losing muscle and that if I lost muscle, it would make me feel better about my body. I was dead on. Now, I'm not saying that this is what you should do. It is so case by case, and I would say more often than not, when clients come through to me and they say, here's my current body and here's what I want to look like, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, you gotta build some muscle. You gotta put on some muscle on your physique in order to look like that. If you wanna build muscle, then maybe lean out a little bit. But there's occasionally some girls that come to me and they're like, here's what I look like, here's what I wanna look like. And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get you on some cardio-based workouts because your body, the way it is right now, has too much muscle to look like that. I know there's gonna be so many people that disagree with me and say I'm crazy and say I'm wrong, but listen, my skinny jeans fit me again. My blazers and my jackets fit me again. I love the way my body looks now. Like, even when I got to the same like leanness last year, I still felt like, oh, like why do I still feel like fluffy? Like, not even fat, just like bulky. And I feel like my arms are bulky and I feel like my thighs are bulky, and I just like couldn't come to terms with the fact that maybe my situation was unique and not like anybody else's, and that maybe I should let my muscle atrophy a little bit. Basically, letting my muscle atrophy was the best thing that I ever did. How I basically did it was just not lifting any heavy weights often. Like maybe one day out of the month I'll have a heavy leg lift. Not even. Like one day out of the month I'll like just like actually let myself do leg press or something. Other than that, I do plyometric, mostly body weight, honestly. Even though I go back to, I'm at the gym again lately. You guys know I've been doing home workouts primarily. I've started going to the gym a little bit more to kind of mix up my routine, and I'm still just like doing body weight stuff at the gym and cardio and like sprint intervals. I'm running outside. I have lost a little bit of muscle in places I did not want to lose it, such as my butt, but that's a given. You can't choose where you lose muscle from. It's going to kind of come over, it's going to kind of come from everywhere, kind of like when your body loses fat. You can't choose where you lose fat. There's nothing you can do to control that. Your body will just decide, oh, we're gonna suck all the fat out of your arms and leave your belly. Like, so yeah, my butt has gotten a little softer than I'd like, probably a little bit less perky than I would like, but that's just a small sacrifice to me in order to have my legs look a little bit better to myself and the rest of me to look a little bit smaller. I said I was gonna try and make this short. I lied. Yeah, I hope that was helpful to you. If you guys have any questions about that or want me to do more of it, I don't know. Don't ask me to do a video about this. It's gonna just be too long. Just leave your questions below and I'll try to answer them. But yeah, I have a coaching call in 2 minutes. I gotta go, bye. Last meal of the day, I'm gonna have a steak and some salad. Steak. I feel like I have steak a lot in my full day of eating videos. I don't know. On the side of my steak, I'm just gonna have a salad. It's a pretty big cut of steak, so I feel like I wanna keep the rest of my meal kind of lean. So yeah, I'm gonna cook it up. So as some of you may know, the next week we're going to Las Vegas. And another fun fact, we're going to Hell's Kitchen in Las Vegas, which is like the restaurant that Gordon Ramsay opened that's supposed to be like the Hell's Kitchen on his TV shows. True story, I've never watched Hell's Kitchen until last week. And we always liked Gordon Ramsay for his show Hotel Hell, which he only had a few seasons of. Like, it's totally not his claim to fame. We just never watched. But then I saw that everybody was saying Hell's Kitchen restaurant's really good, so I was like, huh, maybe we should check it out. And then everyone was saying you should check out his show if you haven't watched his show. So I was like, yeah, I guess we should watch the show before we go to his restaurant. So we've been watching Hell's Kitchen like every single night, and it's amazing. Watching him cook steak every single day. That's a lot of olive oil. Oh well. Watching him cook steak in all of these episodes makes me want to try really nice expensive steaks, and Vegas is the place for steaks. Let me tell you that Vegas is the place for all food, period. I mean, if you've not been to Vegas, I highly recommend that you go. Even if it's just for the food's a good enough reason to go. I'm telling you, it's so good. But yeah, so I'm just salting and peppering my steak. I tried and we're gonna see how this goes. I haven't cooked steak in a little bit. I try to just go by the temperature in the middle. I have a meat thermometer to make sure it's like the perfect medium cooking, whatever, but we'll see. We have my upside down veggie blend lettuce and also field greens, which I believe has more healthy things in it than the other stuff. Less crunchy, more health. It's typically how it goes. I have it all in here. I'm adding some more shredded cheddar that I just shredded up from a block of cheese. If you have not shredded your own cheese as opposed to buying it just like in a bag, you are missing out, my friend. Freshly shredded cheddar off the block is so good. It's very good. Also add in some onions. I'm gonna top it with this Bolthouse Classic Ranch. It's like one of the only salad dressings I ever use. And I'm gonna go back to cooking my steak. I have my salad, which is like half eaten. My steak is cooked. I'm kind of nervous. I'm always nervous about my steak because, you know, it's an expensive piece of meat to ruin. We're just gonna cut into it. If you are not a meat eater, I apologize, but this is the way I live my life. Oh, it looks good, y'all. I feel like I'm not gonna show it. I was gonna show how perfectly like medium it is, but I'll spare the details because I know a lot of vegans and vegetarians watch me. This is not cute to you, but just know I cooked me a good medium steak. So I'm gonna eat this. I feel like this is gonna be the end of this vlog. I didn't even like show you my dinner, but oh, I'm sorry, there's blood. Okay, you know what? It's time to end this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!